Seeing his men treated this way, the silver armor figure merely glanced toward the distance with a hint of curiosity. A flock of crows swiftly swept in, coalescing into a large man. The warriors of the northeast region instantly relaxed, smiles spreading across their faces. General Godluya has arrived. Excellent. Now these intruders are in for a show. Godluya's appearance instantly captured everyone's attention, including the attention of the mutants from Mist Valley. The guardian of humans? Silver armor sat steadily atop the castle, showing no sign of rising. He glanced at his deputy commander, the black and white commander, beside him, giving him a look. The black and white commander instantly understood, leaping forward. His speed wasn't remarkable, yet wherever he passed, razor-sharp ice spikes sprouted from the frozen ground. The already bitter cold plunged even deeper. Thick frost rapidly encased the feet of numerous mighty tiger guards surrounding them. Before they could struggle, they froze solid into human-shaped ice sculptures. The black and white commander clenched his fists, unleashing a frigid surge that erupted from his body and slammed toward Han Shanzhua. That extreme chill pierced Han Shanzhua and his men to the bone, despite their insulated combat suits. Han Shanzhua's gaze had been fixed on the towering figure in silver armor, but now he realized this black and white-clad mutant was equally formidable. His expression hardened as ominous black omens surged from his body, coalescing into a swirling black mist. Boom! His form abruptly expanded as a swarm of black feathers fluttered, transforming him into a colossal crow. His entire body of black feathers gleamed with a metallic sheen, while his blood-red eyes radiated an ominous aura. This was his ability, Calamity Crow. Han Shanzhua flapped his wings, unleashing a terrifying storm that swept away the white cold wave before him. Caw-caw, a shrill cry erupted from Han Shanzhua's beak. The sound waves radiated outward, enveloping all the Mist Valley mutants within range in a swirling black mist. Instantly, they felt as if heavy shackles bound their bodies. Ordinary Mist Valley warriors could barely move, and even the black and white commander felt his actions severely restricted. A curse-type power? Han Shanzhua bound all his enemies before him with cursed power. Then, his wings spread violently, unleashing a torrent of feathers that erupted from his body like a storm, shooting toward every Mist Valley warrior ahead. The black and white commander let out a cold snort. Killing my men? He thrust both hands forward with force, unleashing two surges of frigid energy. Instantly, the cold current struck the ground, conjuring a thick, towering wall that blocked the barrage of black feathers. The black feathers struck the ice wall densely. Though the wall shattered inch by inch, it held firm against the assault, preventing Han Shanzhua from slaughtering more elite Mist Valley warriors. The black and white commanders surveyed the area. Over 20 Mist Valley warriors had already fallen to Han Shanzhua's attack. In battles between high-level mutants, lower-level mutants could scarcely make a significant impact relying solely on their own strength. Only those possessing special abilities, and acting at the precise moment, could exert any meaningful influence. He waved his hand. You handle the others. This one is mine. The green armor warriors nodded and swiftly dispersed, charging toward the tiger army. Within the battle formation, Han Shanzhua's direct subordinates, the Northeast 5 Immortals, led a group of high-level mutants to engage the enemy. 100 men against hundreds of thousands of human warriors, this battle was fiercely brutal from the very start. Yet the true main theater of war lay elsewhere, in the Epsilon-level combat power. The colossal Calamity Crow hovered mid-air, its gaze fixed intently upon the Mist Valley mutant below. Han Shanzhua felt a pang of unease. Even this single figure in black and white armor possessed strength capable of challenging him. But how would he deal with that looming presence above the ice castle? There was no time for further thought. At this juncture, he could only rely on the combined might of all Fengtian City to confront the enemy. Failure could spell the end for the entire northeast region. Caw! Caw! The raven's cry echoed across the heavens and earth. Han Shanzhua's cursed power coiled into crimson-black chains, lashing out to bind the black and white commander. Omen of disaster. Chains of misfortune. The black and white commander instantly erected a frost barrier around himself, attempting to shatter the chains. Yet the chains pierced through his defenses, binding him directly. In an instant, his body grew heavier. This is an inescapable curse power? The black and white commander recognized this, yet he showed no fear. Instead, he crossed his arms before him. Suddenly, a terrifying cold surge erupted from his center, sweeping out in all directions. The surrounding space froze solid, trapping all within it. Even Han Shanzhua mid-air felt the crushing chill envelop his entire body. The mobility of all mutants was severely restricted, including the soldiers of Mist Valley. Frost Realm. Indiscriminate attack. Caw! Han Shanzhua let out a piercing cry, plunging suddenly from the sky. His massive form descended with apocalyptic force, striking at the black and white commander with razor-sharp beak and claws. As a beast-type ability user, cursed power served only as a supplementary ability. His true might lay in brutal, physical combat. The black and white commander unleashed surging white frost from his palms. Vast swathes of pale blue ice rose from the earth, crystallizing into transparent ice shards that coalesced into a colossal dragon hundreds of meters long, charging toward Han Shanzhua. The Calamity Crow didn't flinch or dodge, colliding directly with the ice dragon using its beak. Boom! The massive ice dragon shattered upon impact, scattering countless ice crystals that fell like a vast hailstorm. The Calamity Crow's speed barely slowed as it charged straight toward the black and white commander. Seeing this, the black and white commander slammed both hands onto the ground. A colossal shield of frigid air crystallized before him, forming a massive barrier. Boom! The Calamity Crow smashed through this defense with unstoppable force. Its massive black beak, as if forged from dark metal, now loomed before the black and white commander. As the guardian of the Northeast region, Han Shanzhua may appear carefree and laid back in everyday life, but his prowess is absolutely beyond question. The vast majority of beast-type mutants possess close combat abilities surpassing those of ordinary mutants. Due to their animal attributes, they even possess many more bizarre abilities than enhancement-type mutants. Yet a beast-type ability user with 18,000 ability index could shatter mountains with sheer physical force alone. The two defenses of the black and white commander both failed, causing his expression to darken. His body swiftly turned white as the Calamity Crow's massive form descended, its beak striking him directly. Crack! The black and white commander froze into an ice sculpture, shattered instantly by the Calamity Crow. Yet moments later, he reappeared from the distant snowy expanse, his form crystallizing from the white ice. Extending his right arm, the commander channeled frigid air into a spear dozens of meters long, gripping it firmly in his palm. Aiming at the Calamity Crow, he drew his right arm back like a longbow and hurled the spear with all his might. Whoosh! The piercing whistle nearly shattered eardrums. Its speed was unimaginable. This was an ice elemental ability user. Facing the attack, the Calamity Crow's only response was to swing its right wing. Whoosh! Black feathers unfurled like fan blades, each blade as dark as molten iron. Bang! The ice spear collided with the Calamity Crow's wing, exploding into shards. It inflicted no damage whatsoever upon the Calamity Crow's body. Oh? Indeed, quite interesting. The silver armor observed the unfolding battle below with keen interest. He resembled a noble aristocrat watching a gladiator fight. The black and white commander fixed his gaze on the Calamity Crow, having already formed a basic assessment of its abilities. Two distinct abilities have been confirmed thus far. First, curses that bind their victims with restraining forces. Second, formidable physical resilience. Therefore, engaging in direct close combat is ill-advised. Its massive frame, however, may present a viable point of attack. The black and white commander's eyes swept over the Calamity Crow from head to toe, finally settling on his battle plan. His body crouched low, then launched forward like a bullet, charging straight at the Calamity Crow. The Calamity Crow let out a frenzied howl. Come on then. Let me tear you apart, you bastard. Caw! A piercing shriek echoed from midair as the Calamity Crow plunged downward like a black arrow. Boom! The black and white commander reacted with lightning speed, dodging the aerial strike just in time. Yet the explosive shockwaves still hurled him thousands of meters away. A massive gash ripped open in the ground as the Calamity Crow soared skyward once more. It had missed the black and white commander by a hair's breadth. Otherwise, even a glancing blow would have given the Calamity Crow absolute confidence in obliterating his physical form. Such was the unadorned, straightforward confidence of a beast-type ability user with formidable physique. Pure, absolute power shatters all flashy tricks. This time, however, the black and white commander came prepared. He wouldn't give the Calamity Crow another chance to launch its aerial assault. This time, the Calamity Crow's landing, he had to seize it. The black and white commander watched the Calamity Crow's head plunge into the ground as it prepared to adjust its posture for another takeoff. He swiftly stabilized his stance and drew a deep breath. Extreme freeze. A white chill surged from his mouth, forming a slender, funnel-like blast that instantly reached the Calamity Crow. In an instant, thick frost crystallized across the crow's black wings. The frozen, clumped feathers prevented the Calamity Crow from taking flight. What the hell? Hanshanzua was utterly stunned. The bone-chilling cold made him shiver uncontrollably. The larger the creature, the greater the impact. Caw-caw! It flapped its wings violently, flinging the frost onto the ground. The shards flew like sharp blades, scattering indiscriminately in all directions. Yet its moment on TE ground presented the perfect opening for the black and white commander's assault. Even the sky's sovereign becomes a helpless ground dweller when its wings freeze solid. Now is my moment to strike. The black and white commander raced around the Calamity Crow's massive form at breakneck speed, unleashing relentless cold wave assaults. Even if the Calamity Crow shattered the ice on its wings, the biting cold would cause new frost to form, preventing it from taking flight immediately. The Calamity Crow let out a piercing shriek. Even as a clumsy chicken, its massive size advantage remained undeniable. He flapped his wings, sending up massive clouds of ice, snow, and rock. Attacks of this caliber couldn't inflict significant damage on the black and white commander, only slowing him down. The black and white commander shrugged off the tactic, merely waving his right hand through the air. A wave of frost instantly froze all incoming projectiles mid-flight. The black and white commander circled behind the Calamity Crow, surveying its massive silhouette. Behind his armor, he curled his lips into a cold smile. Extreme freeze. A frigid blast erupted from his mouth, hurtling straight toward the Calamity Crow, its target, the creature's tail. For a mutant fighting in animal form, the most vulnerable spot was the anus. These warriors of Mist Valley possessed formidable combat skills and vast battle experience. They understood this point very well. In a true life-or-death struggle, no one cares about whether combat techniques are flashy or dirty. They only target the opponent's weakest point with the most effective killing method. Sure enough, a surge of frigid cold rushed into the Calamity Crow's body through its only rear passage. The creature stiffened violently, its lower half instantly numb. The extreme chill assaulted its rectum, then raced straight toward its internal organs. This was no laughing matter, and it was extremely dangerous. No matter how formidable one's exterior might be, internal organs remained soft and vulnerable. If his vital organs were frozen solid, this single strike alone could kill the Calamity Crow instantly. This move revealed just how seasoned and experienced the black and white commander truly was in combat. Even the silver armor seated atop the ice castle nodded in satisfaction. In battles between true masters, the slightest carelessness was unforgivable. Any opening left exposed could lead to an instant kill by the opponent. Got him. Surveying the Calamity Crow, now frozen from the waist up, the black and white commander drew a white laser weapon from his back and aimed it at the creature's tail for the finishing blow. Under the assault of this extreme cold wave, no creature's internal organs can withstand it. Death is merely a matter of time. An expression of extreme agony contorted the Calamity Crow's face as the frigid wave rapidly invaded its body, threatening to freeze its vital organs solid. It's all over. The black and white commander raised his weapon, poised to deliver the final blow to this guardian of the Northeast region. But at that very moment, the Calamity Crow's body suddenly convulsed violently. Caw! He threw back his head and let out a roar that shook the heavens. Don't underestimate me, you bastard. I am God Luya. The crimson demonic flames within his pupils suddenly blazed even more fiercely. The flames surged and boiled, rapidly transforming from red to gold. Golden flames, like molten gold, poured out from his pupils, cascading down from his head to drench his entire body. In an instant, his form was completely drenched in golden light. A boundless, fiery sun power surged and roared around him. Golden flames shot skyward, radiating unbearable heat. All the frigid cold in this realm was utterly banished. Hanshan's crow was a golden crow. The mythical golden crow. Heat waves surged outward. The black and white commander's pupils suddenly contracted. He hadn't anticipated his enemy suddenly manifesting a second elemental ability, one that completely countered his own fiery sun ability. Golden flames swept in all directions, engulfing the black and white commander within their embrace. Extreme heat washed over his body, wave after wave of scorching pressure crashing against him. His arms instinctively shielded his chest, yet he was still forced back dozens of steps by the terrifying flames. Meanwhile, the golden crow had already turned, its eyes burning with raging fire. Anyone subjected to such humiliation would struggle to remain composed. He opened his beak, and a torrent of golden flames instantly erupted toward the black and white commander. The solidified golden flames coalesced into a colossal pillar of fire, striking the black and white commander's body like a pillar piercing the heavens. Fiery sun, burning sky. The black and white commander felt immense pressure, straining every ounce of his power to unleash his icy might. His extreme freezing ability was pushed to its absolute limit, yet the inherent elemental counter between the two powers and the disparity in their supernatural abilities levels prevented him from fully nullifying the attack's lethal force. In an instant, he was engulfed by golden flames, his armor shattering into fragments. Just as the golden crow prepared to press his advantage and eliminate the black and white commander, a figure silently materialized between them. The silver armor, who had been observing the battle from above the ice castle, finally intervened. Hovering midair, he wielded a weapon larger than his own frame in his right hand, using it to block the fiercely advancing burning sky flame. It was an utterly bizarre weapon, resembling a massive crescent moon sword. Sharp yet heavy, it was hard to imagine anyone wielding such a weapon with a single hand. Yet silver armor, holding this bizarre, crescent-bladed weapon, for lack of a better term, blocked every attack from the golden crow head-on. After his flames dissipated, the golden crow saw the silver-armored enemy before him had parried his assaults with just a sword. His gaze darkened with gravity. The black and white commander, his face etched with remorse, addressed silver armor in a mysterious tongue, "General, I have failed you." Silver armor replied in a deep voice, "It's not your fault. This fellow's strength is indeed impressive, a worthy guardian of the human race. Go deal with the others. This one is mine." The black and white commander nodded and swiftly withdrew from the battlefield. Seeing this, the golden crow's heart sank. His opponents possessed 2 Epsilon-tier mutants, and by the looks of it, this silver armor figure was even more formidable. But how could he be in 2 places at once? Forget protecting the Northeast region now, even his own survival was in grave jeopardy. The Northeast region lacked the space-based weapon of the East Sea region or the Ocean Fleet. All they possessed was the Reaper of Love, but that was a weapon of mutual destruction, one to be used only in the most desperate of situations. His heart raced with panic. He let out a fierce howl and charged toward the silver armor, carrying a terrifying wave of golden flames. At this point, only a desperate gamble remained. Seeing this, the silver armor curved his lips slightly. Oh! Facing that terrifying wave of flame, he neither dodged nor retreated. He simply raised the massive curved sword in his hand and charged straight toward the golden crow. Boom! Golden light shot skyward, blindingly bright, obscuring the details of what transpired within. In the instant they clashed, golden feathers scattered across the sky. The golden crow's wing was directly slashed off. The golden crow crashed heavily onto the ground. The damaged areas of its wings had dried out, the blood that couldn't flow out had been evaporated, which coincidentally sealed its wounds, preventing it from bleeding to death. The golden crow gasped for breath in heavy, ragged breaths, the despair within its heart growing even stronger. He had anticipated the silver armor would be difficult to handle, but he never imagined its power would surpass his own by such a staggering margin. They were not even in the same level. The opponent possessed strength far beyond the black charioteer. In fact, it wasn't just 20,000 points, it was even higher. So high it rendered him utterly powerless to fight back. Gwa! Driven to utter despair, then fury, the golden crow descended into complete madness, roaring defiantly toward the heavens. Old G, deploy the Reaper of Love. I can't hold on any longer. The golden crow had truly lost his mind, contemplating mutual destruction with his foe. Meanwhile, at the command center, Ji Changhai was surrounded by numerous high-ranking officials. They stared intently at him, their faces etched with anxiety. Commander Ji, we must evacuate immediately. This enemy force is beyond our ability to withstand. Ji Changhai's face twisted into a grimace. He slammed his fist on the table. Damn it all, shut up. Escape? Where the hell would we escape to? If the Northeast region falls, we're all as good as dead. I refuse to be some second-generation heir to the Zhang family. So be it, we'll fight them to the death. Open the launch bay for the Reaper of Love. If all else fails, we'll go down together. His order was final. No matter how the senior officials beside him pleaded, Ji Changhai paid them no heed. On the military side, the launch bay for the Reaper of Love's death had already been opened. This commotion was simultaneously sensed by every region across the globe. In an instant, nations worldwide were alarmed. Most understood that a mysterious civilization had launched an attack here. The silver armor turned to face the golden crow. A colossal, burning sky flame hurtled straight toward him. Boom! The raging flames seemed poised to incinerate Fengtian City itself. Even from thousands of meters away, one could feel the searing pain of scorched skin. Yet faced with such an assault, Silver Armor showed no reaction whatsoever. He simply raised his massive sword and brought it down in a single, decisive swing. Whoosh! His strike unleashed a terrifying tempest, not from any supernatural aftereffects, but purely from the sheer force and blinding speed of the blade itself. This single stroke cleaved the raging flames, attacking him clean in two. The disparity in power was utterly despair-inducing. Even Han Shanzuo's body, tempered through countless trials, even his golden crow physique, nearly as hard as Edelman, couldn't withstand the light slash of the silver armor mutant before him. The opponent was an ultimate enhancement-type outsider, capable of obliterating everything through sheer physical might alone. Meanwhile, the black and white commander joined the purge against the mighty Tiger Guard. Among the Northeast region's 5 immortals, the Willow Immortal and the Gray Immortal fell in battle. The Northeast region's most elite outsiders were utterly powerless against this veteran Epsilon. Caw-caw! Crystal-clear hot tears streamed from the golden crow's eyes as utter despair consumed his heart. Faced with such an immense power disparity, they had no means to fight back. Today, the Northeast region would likely vanish entirely from Huashu Kingdom's map. And after their annihilation, could the other regions even survive? Even if Golden Crow attempted to flee now, the speed of the enhancement-type silver armor mutant before him would make pursuit impossible. With just one wing, he could still coalesce flames into a wing and soar to the heavens. But Han Shanzuo would rather die here than live a lifetime branded as a coward. Die! All of you die! Ji Changhai, what are you waiting for? Han Shanzuo's voice shook the entire Fengtian city, reaching Ji Changhai's ears. The key in his hand was already inserted into the control box, the switch activated. His right index finger hovered tremulously over the launch button, his forehead drenched in sweat, unsure if he should truly press it. Tears of fervor streamed from Golden Crow's eyes as he unleashed the most powerful flame of his existence. His body transformed into a colossal golden fireball, resembling a gigantic sun. Illuminating the entire city of Fengtian from the sky, he flapped wings formed from molten flame before plunging down towards Silver Armor. A flicker of hesitation finally appeared on Silver Armor's face. Even though he vastly outmatched Han Shanzhua in power, the opponent's desperate, all-out strike was something he dared not take lightly. He planted his feet firmly, drew a deep, powerful breath, and a roaring wind surged around him as his chest and abdomen swelled dramatically. Then, facing the golden fireball before him, he violently expelled a torrential blast of air. A tempest surged forth from his mouth. The layers of golden flames enveloping the golden crow were stripped away like outer garments by the storm's impact, swiftly revealing its gravely wounded form. By the time the golden crow charged forward, its flames were nearly extinguished. Without a word, the Silver Armor warrior charged forward, his sword aimed squarely at Han Shanzhua's throat. Thud! A massive head instantly fell to the ground. The golden crow's exposed neck gushed blood wildly. Boom! Its enormous body crashed onto the ground. Silver Armor merely gave him a dismissive glance, shook his head in boredom, then calmly hoisted his sword and walked off into the distance. It seemed killing ordinary men held little interest for him. Everything that followed could be left to his subordinates. Or perhaps it was because he dared not linger too long, lest he attract the attention of some powerful entity. Inside the command center, Ji Changhai's face had turned deathly pale. Driven by despair, his right hand was about to press the launch button of the Reaper of Love. At that very moment, the command center doors burst open. A young officer stepped forward and addressed the assembled figures. "Everyone, do not panic. The National Protectorate Army has arrived to provide support." Hearing these words, Ji Changhai and the other high-ranking officials immediately turned their heads. The National Protectorate Army? Upon hearing the name National Protectorate Army, their faces lit up with surprise and relief. Ji Changhai's body couldn't help but slide backward. He could no longer bear this immense psychological pressure. Even as the commander of the Northeast region, the crushing weight of responsibility nearly shattered him as he prepared to launch the Reaper of Love, condemning the million soldiers and civilians of Fengtian City to mutual destruction with the enemy. Silver Armor was about to step forward when suddenly, his ears twitched, and he halted. Behind him, the golden crow, whose head had been severed, stirred unexpectedly. Pfft! The flesh and blood of the golden crow's body exploded outward, and Han Shanzhua crawled out from the pile of flesh. The flesh formed from supernatural energy instantly vaporized into billowing steam, rising skyward. It turned out he hadn't transformed into the golden crow itself, but had become its source. Thus, the severe damage inflicted on the golden crow posed no threat to his life. Yet his pale complexion revealed the immense toll it had taken on him. Silver Armor glanced at him with interest, then simply looked down at his feet. Suddenly, his right foot slammed into the ground, and a stone fragment, flung from the shattered building, landed in his palm. Silver Armor fixed his gaze on Han Shanzhua, pinching the stone between his thumb and index finger. His posture clearly signaled intent to end Han Shanzhua's life with this ordinary pebble. Han Shanzhua gasped for breath in heavy, ragged breaths. That technique had been his last resort for survival, a feigned death to deceive enemies in critical moments. But today, this was in Fengtian City, his own hometown. If even Fengtian City was lost, what meaning would his life hold? Therefore, he would rather die standing. "Come on!" Han Shanzhua roared, powerful supernatural abilities surging through his body. Though he couldn't transform into the golden crow form to fight in the short term, that didn't mean he was weak. Oh! The Silver Armor figure tilted its head. With a flick of its right thumb, the pebble shot through the air faster than a bullet. Buzz! The air itself rippled violently. It was unimaginable what kind of power a small pebble flicked by a black chariot-level enhancement-type mutant could possess. Han Shanzhua couldn't fathom it either. His battered body could no longer withstand even a casual strike from a black chariot-level mutant. Just as the pebble was about to pierce Han Shanzhua's skull, a powerful hand suddenly reached out, gripping the stone firmly. Huh? Han Shanzhua turned in surprise to look at the owner of that arm. Even the silver armor stared at him with astonishment. In the northeast region, there was only one Epsilon-level mutant. There had never been a second. So who exactly was this person who had come? Han Shanzhua lifted his head, catching only a side profile. A man clad in dark green military fatigues stood there. The loose-fitting uniform draped over his imposing, towering frame without any hint of bulkiness. A wide-brimmed cap obscured the upper half of his face, revealing only a jawline sharp as a sword. You! Han Shanzhua was so shaken he could barely speak, yet an overwhelming sense of calm washed over him. He had no idea who this man was. But seeing that dark green uniform brought him an inexplicable sense of reassurance. The soldier's left hand, clad in black deerskin gloves, crushed the pebble in his palm. It instantly turned to fine powder, trickling down his fingers. You've done well. Leave the rest to me. The man's voice was cold, devoid of emotion, yet it filled Han Shanzhua with profound reassurance. Suddenly, a name surfaced in his mind. National Protectorate Army. After the apocalypse, the world was transformed beyond recognition. Global power dynamics shifted like storm clouds. Weak nations and regions had collapsed early on, and even world powers struggled to ensure their safety in such turbulent times. Once war began, everyone around you could become your enemy. For Huashu Kingdom, the situation was even more perilous, surrounded by powerful rivals. Along its southeastern coast, the Columbus Ocean Fleet stood in confrontation. Along its entire western and lengthy northeastern borders, numerous potential threats existed. Thus, at the dawn of the apocalypse, the original military regions dispatched their most elite warriors to guard the northern doors. They belonged to no specific region, bound by a single mission, to defend Huashu Kingdom's vast northern border. Han Shanzhua had heard of this special military unit's existence but had never encountered them directly. He never imagined they would come to provide support today. This was actually quite understandable, as the northeast region possessed an extensive border, directly adjoining two nations, one of which was Fremon's, currently among the world's most powerful militaries. Han Shanzhua took a deep breath. Before stepping back, he said, "Brother, he's an enhancement-type mutant. His strength is extraordinary, at least Black Chariot level. You must be careful." The young soldier, appearing to be in his 30s, nodded upon hearing this. Han Shanzhua did not stay to assist, for there was a more urgent matter demanding his attention. The black and white commander, leading a group of green armor warriors, had already decimated the mighty Tiger Guard to just 1/3 of their original strength. 2 of the Northeast 5 immortals had fallen. If he didn't intervene soon, the entire mighty Tiger Guard would be annihilated within half an hour. After Han Shanzhua departed, the young soldier adjusted his black deerskin gloves. Through the brim of his wide military cap, his dark eyes blazed with an intimidating killing intent. He strode forward with unwavering steps, advancing toward the silver armor. Those who trespass upon the borders of our Huaxia shall be slain without mercy. Those who harm the people of our Huaxia shall be slain without mercy. Those who defy the iron laws of our Huaxia shall be slain without mercy. Today, every monster that dares set foot here, whatever you may be, shall leave your life behind. Lieutenant General Chen Xuanba, the #1 fighter of the National Protectorate Army, the Black Emperor Zhuanqiu, has arrived. The silver armor understood his language, and beneath the silver mask, a deeply mocking smile spread. It was the derision of an adult hearing a child's wild boasts. Ha ha ha, dot. The silver armor's laughter echoed from beneath the armor as he roared, "Oh? Then let me see what else exists among humans that can provide me with some truly entertaining amusement." Chen Xuanba didn't utter a word. His right foot slammed down hard onto the ground, shattering the earth beneath him. A torrent of black energy surged forth from his body, enveloping him like a raging storm. The silver armor warrior's laughter hadn't yet faded when, in the next instant, crack. His left cheek took an excruciating blow. His neck twisted into an unnatural angle as his entire body was violently hurled backward. Boom! the silver armor warrior was flung thousands of meters away, crashing through a vast expanse of ruins before finally coming to a halt. But in the blink of an eye, Qin Xuanba charged forward once more. A black fist, imbued with overwhelming killing intent, hurled straight toward the silver armor warrior's forehead.